So we are pro Frida.
Yeah.
Discover different female artists and agents in the worldwide art scene in an easygoing conversation with our guests.
Welcome to this brand new Blocker Talks exclusively for our YouTube followers. Yes, you subscriber, you're super welcome. And I got the pleasure for today's episode to have the lovely Stephanie Hidrogo. We have collaborated with the digital platform based in Mexico, Art Will Save Us, and they also promote Latin American artists to the world. Hi, Stephanie.
Hello, Brenda. Thank you for having me. This is an amazing initiative, and I'm really happy to be part of it.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Could you please tell to our subscribers a little bit more about the platform and yourself?
Absolutely. So I started into the working in the art scene for already 2 years, and it was super organic because I was always in marketing, digital marketing. I own a digital marketing agency actually, and after being involved in the art and with some artists that I know, I started this platform this year that is called Art Will Save Us. Because of everything that is going on right now in the world, I thought that we should do something to help out artists during this world pandemic. So the platform basically is it's a platform where we promote Latin American artists, and you can buy art there. You can also have information about art collectionism and also about Latin American artists, and a few tools that we also provide to our artists to improve their digital presence. So basically, that's what we do.
So thank you very much for that intro, Stephanie, because I think that it's very important about the specific time that we're passing by, and also the pandemic, how different artists are struggling around the globe. And I think this is very important to keep the good fight. Also, just a mention here is that Art Will Save Us is also promoting some of the block art artists from the platform, such as Veronica Serna and Emilio Longhi. So in case if you want to check about them, well, below in the description, you'll see the website.
True. Yeah. We are thrilled to have this collaboration because as we spoke the first time, it's amazing that we as women can be collaborating, and also these two platforms, that the job you're doing, the work you're doing, it's amazing. Like I follow you like weekly with all the information that you show on Instagram, and I really appreciate what you're doing for the art.
Thank you so much. Definitely this purpose of the Blocker Talks is about how we as female agents in the art world can unify and grow together. So I highly suggest you to check out not only these episodes, but also the Blocker News and the different programs that we're launching. I know precisely in YouTube, but also in our different social medias. In case if you're not following Art Will Save Us, you can also check them out on their Instagram account.
Thank you. Yeah.
Now we're going to start with Frida Kahlo,
one of the most original women of her time.
And Frida Kahlo, I know that she's quite worldwide well known and pretty famous, but we'll start with top 3 facts. And these facts, we know that she's she was a feminist, LGBT icon, Chicano, maybe, no? And also she loved self-portraits, because most of the paintings that she has done, well, it included herself in different scenarios. So with Stephanie, what we're going to do is to mention top 3 facts, and then our 3 paintings, the chosen ones. Let's call them like the chosen ones.
It's amazing. As you mentioned, one thing that I love her is, of course, she's a sign, an icon of feminism, and you can see her everywhere. I think, I don't know which year it was, but it was like the most popular Halloween costume somewhere, because Beyonce wore that and all of that. And I think the self-portraits kind of show how she was, promoting that a different beauty, and you know, she was a beauty icon too. She became one, and she's one right now. And I think, as you say, these three things, you know, like LGBT, feminist, and she was born in the last century. So if you think about that, the time of the history that she was born, in the country that she was born, and all of that, it has, I mean, I love that we're starting with her, because she's quite an icon.
Definitely, and quite a statement. And I think that is very much also considered like fashion icon. As you mentioned, Beyonce wore like disguise, no, and personify Frida Kahlo. And to start with a little bit, like a hint, it's about the unibrow. The way how she wanted that as natural, no, as her style. I think that was part of the way how she wanted to be considered. Is like the way how she is, and she even considered herself that she hasn't met anyone more weirder, no, or different, no, than herself. I think that is a very important statement, how as a feminist she used to wear this unibrow. I haven't, till this moment, I haven't met any women who uses a unibrow. I don't know about you, Stephanie. Have you met someone?
Well, I saw like it became kind of a trend on fashion models now here in Mexico. I saw a few of them like trying to wear it, but of course it is not in the way that she used to do it. As you say, she was just being natural, and this is the way I am, and we are Latina, so we have, you know, like way more hair than I don't know, blondes in the north of the continent or whatever. But now I think it's taken more as a statement of beauty, you know, like these pretty amazing fashion model faces can wear almost anything. But she was doing that, being so natural. So answering your question, I don't know anyone else, like regular person that wears it.
Now, about the different important facts. A controversial birthday, that would be because she was supposed to be born on 1907, but she holds that she was born on 1910, July 7, 1910, when the Mexican Revolution started. And it lasted till that decade, and she was deeply patriotic, always thought to be a voice for the oppressed. And her decision to contest her birth date was a politically charged one and was not done to simply make her appear younger. I think that it was no arbitrary choice, but also, and I remember reading somewhere, because there's just tons of information about her, that every single one of her art pieces, is charged with personal approach, with her own experience, because we know that she had polio. It was tragic since she was a kid, but then she was she was politically engaged woman. That's another of the facts that I wanted to highlight. So in one of the paintings that I think it was done in the 40s approximately, she sent a letter to the former Mexican president and to claim the expression to women.
Yes, she was super involved in that. I had the pleasure to visit her house many times, and yeah, I know that for sure, if we try to think as her as a political fighter and a feminist at that time, I think like battling for have that birth date change and all of that, it's something that I can totally picture of her doing that. And also, yeah, she was super involved. I know in her house she welcomed so many politicians. She was super she was always looking to help out communists, and she was always against the regime that was the political thing that was happening in Mexico. Also, as you mentioned, she went to jail. I think she went to jail because of that. Because the artists at that moment, they were super involved into politics, but also she welcomed Trotsky to her house. I know that he stayed at her house, and of course she was so engaged with him and all of the other artists that I think that's what take her to jail, actually.
Yes, and then it wasn't a rumor, in fact, but she was quite open about her bisexuality, and I think it started with the couple, with Trotsky and his wife, while they were in the Blue House, the Casa Azul, that now is super visited as a kind of like touristy point and venue in Mexico. I'm always wondering about what would be her point of view in seeing such amount of merchandising with her name on. I don't know. I'm going to drop that because I love to create like this question about everything. Please, in case if you're watching this, just drop your comment and let us know what do you think. If she would be just fine, she would be like, yeah, preaching it out, or she would be maybe not that well, not that good.
Yeah, I about that I never thought, but I don't know, probably in some way she would probably be super happy that her name is like everywhere and as a sign of feminism, but also I don't know if she was not like creating and like they were buying things that she was creating. I'm not sure about that.
Exactly. Another fact, and we wrap up with this 3 important facts, is that she was dreaming to become a doctor. Before she began painting, Frida had this dream, and her father was a photographer that picked her interest in the arts from an early age. This was always secondary to her desire to practice medicine. This was a very interesting fact because I never, ever thought that she wanted to become a doctor. And of course, considering that she was disabled, it was quite kind of like frustrating.
I think probably, all these health issues that she had to face since early years. I think that took her probably to have this passion, for saving others, or maybe trying to relieve others from something that she suffered. But yeah, I didn't know about that neither. But I can totally picture her, like like trying to go against everything and trying to become something that maybe was not that suit for a woman at that time, right?
Yes, precisely. And considering that she was part of the Mexican Communist Party, and that fierce, that energy, that strength, that I think that a lot of people men usually underestimate on the female gender. We do have a lot of fierceness, and when we want to achieve something, beware.
That's true. I think one of the things, you may love or hate her artworks, as visually like criticism, but one thing that you cannot say about her is that she didn't like set something like for her name. Like she did like her artwork I think she was the first Mexican painter to have her paintings internationally exhibited. So I think either you like it or you hate it, you have to give her that credit. She became one of the most popular and most known artists because of that, because she was super clear about what she was doing.
Yes, definitely. And nowadays she's one of the most renowned. even if the paintings are considered in auction houses, and they are still, around the globe in different private collections and museums, of course, and museums. Now, talking about paintings, and very fast, because the idea is to do it like very fast. We have chosen 3 paintings. These are the chosen ones. Let's start with the 2 Fridas.
Right now, that this one is at MoMA, right? This painting.
Yes. Is at the MoMA, New York. Yes.
I love this one because it's like, I don't know how you feel about it, but it's like looking at yourself at the mirror and, like being heart open, and it's super like raw somehow.
Yes.
Like helping yourself to try to manage your pain, like just looking at yourself like, relax, I got you, but I'm the only one you have. Like, I don't know how you feel about it.
It's interesting the point in the reading that you just said, and it's like the first impression, it's like when it's shocking, and even considering this, that we're looking at them digitally right now, it's another whole thing when you're in front of it, because it's somehow it shocks you, it captures you, or maybe that it gives you something, it gives you something, it tells you something. So in this painting, you see 2 Fridas, precisely. It was done on 1939 and was completed shortly after her divorce with Diego Rivera. This portrait shows Frida's 2 different personalities. One is the traditional Frida in Tehuana costume with a broken heart, sitting next to an independent, modern dressed Frida. In her diary, she wrote about this painting and said it is originated from her memory of an imaginary childhood friend. But later, she admitted it expressed her desperation and loneliness with the separation from Diego. Of course, we're talking about a relationship that lasts a life, and her life was like
years.
Our life. It was like, oh my God, sufrida, it's like the virgin of the suffering.
He tenido 2 grandes accidentes en mi vida, Diego. El autobús y tú. Y tú eres el peor.
Almost.
Totally.
Literally. So you can consider like the attachment, emotional, attachment. Yes.
Totally. Also, if you think about that, she was wearing one dress that is more like modern and one dress that is more like conservative. Maybe she was trying to somehow try to dig deeper on her pain and trying to think like, whatever, I'm going to become a new one, right? Like this new chapter is coming. But well, as we know, they remarried after a year. So even that we can see that pain at that moment and all of that, and maybe that way of her to say that there's something new expecting for me out there. At the same time, she was also expecting him to come back, right?
Yes, absolutely. A very interesting and important fact about this painting is that on 1947 was acquired by the Instituto Nacional de Bellas Artes, the National Institute of Fine Arts in Mexico City. The purchase price was 4,000 pesos, about $1,000, $1,000 at that time. And yes, and an additional 36 pesos for the frame. That was the highest price that Frida was ever paid for a painting during her lifetime.
That's crazy that we see another example of an artist that died with no being paid the way they were supposed to, right? Yeah,
it's just
no.
I don't get it. It's like frozen. I'm frozen here.
One thing that is also important is the government was taking serious care about, like trying to covering all these artworks that were like showing different ideas from what they had. So I know they kind of concentrate all of these artists in, okay, yeah, you're going to paint inside this building because it's from the government, so you don't have to do something outside. So they were trying to cover it so people won't see their new ideas. And that's also interesting.
It's very interesting because it's somehow like puppeteers, it's like trying to cover and control what they were. Oh my God.
And also she just got like $1,000 for this painting. That's also amazing.
No, that's insane. That's just insane because nowadays you can Google. Anyone can Google. Here in this case, like it's amazing because the benefit of internet is just you Google and check out in the auction houses and you'll see the prices that are sold nowadays.
She set records many times. I think I read like yesterday or something. She sold one of her paintings in $5.6 million in 2006 or something. So can you imagine now, like the prices continue rising up? I don't know what she will think if she knew. She only knew.
Exactly. Anyway, second chosen one, the wounded deer. Now, how about this one? What's your reading? What can you tell us, Stephanie?
Well, the first thing, of course, you can see her face in here, and so I kind of think that she will probably dream about this. But one thing that is clear here is that she was the target of these arrows coming to her. So she's hurt, and we can see that she was hurt, and maybe her freedom was hurt. I want to think because it's a deer outside in this forest, and suddenly you see so many arrows targeting her in the middle of a jump. So I can like kind of think that she became the target for many opinions or something like that.
Interesting, very interesting. Let's consider that she had several operations, many different operations. No, and let's not forget about like these pictures when she's laying down on her bed painting. No, it's just striking. For me, it's striking, and I really consider she's one of the most strongest women, no, Latinas from in the art field, no, from all over the globe. I think that it's quite an example, no, in the struggle, in the resilience, no, as a phoenix to rise from something. In 1946, what happened? She had an operation on her spine in New York. She was hoping this surgery would free her from the severe back pain, but it failed. This painting expressed her disappointment towards the operation. After she went back to Mexico, she suffered both physical pain and emotional depression. In this painting, she depicted herself as a young stag with her own head crowned with antlers. This young stag is pierced by arrows and bleeding. At the lower left corner, the artist wrote down the word karma, which means karma or destiny here, or fate. Just like her other self-portraits, in this painting, Frida expressed the sadness that she cannot change her own fate. Wow.
Wow, this is powerful. If you think, as you said, that she was painting, not able to walk, to like do her life normally, and having this pain constantly that like was leading her to make these kind of paintings. And the way that is the word that strikes to me is karma, because it's like she was kind of punishing herself, like I kind of this was for me, this was meant to me, this kind of pain. And that's interesting because at some level she was trying to say that she deserves that. and I don't know, it was only her inner struggle, or it was also part of what she was living, like in her marriage. So that's interesting.
Yes, yes, definitely. And now the final chosen one is about thinking about death. And over here, it talks about her last years of life. You can see as a third eye, skull. And let's not forget that she was tortured by numerous illness and complications, like we mentioned before, and we just kind of like deconstruct the painting, But in this case, this painting was painted on 1943, and her health was deteriorated during that period of time. Due to her poor health condition, death is an inevitable thought which lingering over her mind. And I think that's why the position that it's right on this eye, the third eye, it symbolized death as a skull and crossbones, which shows up in her forehead. In ancient Mexican culture, death also means rebirth and life. In this portrait, she put herself against a background with lavish green leaves, which is a symbol of life. It seems Frida understood that death is a path to another form of life. Interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I know for sure that Mexicans had their knowledge or their meaning about death is way different, because they think that this is just a path to another life, and they think that, as we experienced a few days ago, that the dead came and visit one day out of the year, and you celebrate that because they're coming, they're like invited to your house. But I think that she also kind of was super spiritual, even above that knowledge. She was also like having the third eye, that is something more like Asiatic, from Asia. She was like putting so many concepts, like spiritual concepts, in only one painting. And I think she's super deep, as we can see, but also that she was taking these little details that mix their feelings, but also her culture and the third eye. I think there are many like things that we can say from this painting, and also the way she's looking. She's like proud of it. She's not like sad or anything. She's like, well, I'm ready for this.
Yes, absolutely. It's very interesting, that last point that you mentioned, because of her posture. It's like the position that she's plays. It's like, yeah, I'm ready. Go. I mean, her entire life was just struggle after struggle and pain after pain, and it's like this case. It seems that I'm coming back, but in another way, in another form.
Totally. I love these three paintings that we do, because they show like so many things about her in different scenes, but I think the three of them are related with the pain that she was experiencing. And we know that artists used to take these like extreme experiences that they turn into art. But I think in the case of Frida, her entire life was shown in her artworks, and that's amazing. That's a really an impressive way to do it. And also, come on, even when we see a picture of us and we are criticizing about us, or because you always see these little details, she was painting herself, so she was like super self aware of herself, and she was like living by all the things that she really believed. And like feminism and the beauty, that kind of beauty, that kind of thinking. So as I say before, even if you hate it or love it, you have to give her that credit.
Definitely. Yes, definitely. So we are pro Frida.
Yeah. Totally.
Well, I really hope that you enjoyed this tiny bit of Frida Kahlo and in our brand new Blocker Talks. In case if you enjoy it, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, ring the bell so you don't miss any of our upcoming episodes. And yes, we will follow up with more brand new episodes with different female artists. So remember about that. Female power over here. Thank you very much, Stephanie.
Thank you. And thank you everyone for watching this. Leave us the comments. We'll be answering questions and all of the suggestions you have.
Thank you. Bye.
Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and ring the bell so you don't miss any of our upcoming episodes.